Welcome to Real Talk Christian Podcast, where we drink coffee and have real conversations on faith, culture, and society. I'm your host, Chris Fuller.
And I'm Janeal Fuller.
And on today's episode, first of all, Merry Christmas. And we're excited to be here with you on this Christmas morning. We have a special guest today, Andrew Myers, and we're going to be talking about the true story of Nicholas Claus, his new book that he wrote for children. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll see you shortly. You ready to do this?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. Well, this is going to be interesting as I'm trying to do all of this at the same time. So we'll see how well it goes. But Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas morning. Hopefully everything is unwrapped and devotions are done. Or if not, go ahead and check out the Creation to Cradle Day 25 that we dropped first thing this morning for you guys for your Christmas devotion. The last devotion for the 25 devotions that we did. So as you guys can see, this is not Mark Hyde.
No.
This is Janeal Fuller, my wife, and she's making a special guest appearance today on this Christmas morning. So thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me.
You're welcome.
All right.
It feels like Christmas morning in here because it's cold.
I'm sorry. That's why I put a hoodie on.
I have one on too. It's still cold.
Well, we'll make it through. So, you didn't even bring anything down here to drink.
No.
So normally we at least have water.
I'm drinking nothing.
I brought a bottle of water. I guess if you get thirsty, we can share.
I'm probably dehydrated.
Coffee today was Peruvian coffee from Costco that we had this morning, but that was about it. It's a little late to be drinking coffee right now. To start drinking coffee, usually when Mark and I are drinking, we're starting at about 6 o'clock.
The coffee would have warmed me up, though. Probably should have had some.
I guess you can go off screen and go make some coffee if you need to. But anyways, yeah. So we're not drinking anything, or I have a bottle of water if you get parched from all your speaking. So, all right. Well, I don't want to keep Andrew off screen and waiting too long because I'm so excited to have this conversation about St. Nicholas. But before we do that, we always have some housekeeping to do. We've got a review to read. Did you want to read the review on this special Christmas episode?
Your guys' reviews make me nervous. You guys always mess something up.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm putting it on you. That way you can join the club. You want to read it or no?
I don't care.
All right, go for it. I'll let you read this one.
Where does it say who it's from, though?
Right there.
Ron J. W1.
Yeah, you think it's a guy or a girl?
I'm going to go with a boy because
Ron,
it's Ron.
J.
But
W1.
it could be Veronica, so I don't know.
Or it could be Rhonda.
That's true.
I'm just saying. So
doesn't Rhonda have an
Ron
H in it,
JW? Wow, I'm already screwing up now. One, if you are a girl, please reach out to us so I can laugh at Janeal for screwing it up.
Thanks.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Thank you for doing what you do. I started watching at the beginning of June 2025. I was caught up on another podcast, so I started to listen and then rewinded to the beginning. As of today, I have listened to all of them. Wow, that's a lot. Wait, just started in June. That
is a lot.
I thank you for the entertainment while at work. I enjoy the conversations, especially hearing the word of God being read. Romans 10:17 says, faith comes from hearing, hearing by the word of God.
Oh, there you go. Wait, there it is. There it is. You keep going.
This has got me through work day, making my days go by faster. I thank you, Mark, and the Fuller. I appreciate you putting in the time and sharing your lives and families. You are down-to-earth dudes down in the basement.
That's right.
Keep up the fun facts. Very educational.
There we go. All right.
You
Ron
can start your own
JW1, we appreciate you.
You could start your own homeschooling fun facts curriculum.
Oh, there it is. If you haven't reached out to us for the special freebie swag bag, reach out to us, Real Talk Christian Podcast at gmail.com for leaving that review, and we'll get one sent out to you. We still are sending them. Also, if you are in need of a Bible, this is something that we don't say every episode, but if you are in need of a Bible, we do have a freshly nice stack over there of Bibles that have just been recently ordered. If you or someone you know is in need of a Bible, please get us their name and address, and we will send that to you at no cost to you, completely free, right? This is my little U.S. mail carrier right here.
I'll be taking it to FedEx.
This is the one that keeps it all in line and straightened out for us. But Without further ado, I am super excited to introduce our guest tonight. Andrew Myers is an author of Vanna, would you help me out here? Vanna, of a new children's book that has recently come out, The True Story of Nicholas Claus, Better Than a Legend, A Man Who Loved Jesus. And I tell you what, guys, it is a beautifully written book. It's not a very long book. It's a children's book, but it has such truth in it. And the artwork is really cool. I thoroughly enjoy it. I understand that it is Christmas morning. You won't be able to buy it. But if you got Christmas money and you want a good book to read, this is the book to get.
Amazon gift card.
Amazon gift card. There you go. So without further ado, Andrew Myers, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I know we chatted a little bit before we started the podcast episode for the second time because we had a little technical difficulties because your boy over here is trying to run two things at once, which I'm not used to, but I'll get it. But we just appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you said your wife was putting your kids together. We had just put our kids to bed. It's a little bit later at night, and I'm sure you've worked today, being that it's a Friday. So I appreciate you taking time to sit down with us and talk about this book you read. But before we get too much into it, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, some of your faith journey and how you became a Christian, what led you through the state and where you're at now, and what led you to creating this book?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born into a Catholic household. I didn't find out till a lot later, but basically half of my family is LDS or Mormon. And then the other half is like really devout Catholic, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Irish, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little touch, right? I remember really early on feeling close to God, even in the Catholic Church. But we were Vatican I, so it was in nomine Padre, Fide, Spiritus Sancti, Amen, full Latin.
Right.
So,
and you're like, yeah, I totally understand that.
0%, right?
I've heard that phrase from my dad.
Her dad grew up Catholic, so he said that a lot too.
Yeah, right. You guys knew, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, we were, my parents got divorced, and in Vatican I, that's a mortal sin.
Yeah.
So it's a no-go for us. So I actually was like pretty bitter at God for a long time. Self-proclaimed atheist and did not want anything to do with the church. Because half the family, Catholic, they had to excommunicate us. And then the other half being LDS, said that my mom and what about your eternal family and your, they really put a guilt trip on her, but it was my dad's choice to leave. So it just felt really weird for me. And actually, when I was about 13 years old, I got kind of tricked, bamboozled into going to an overnight lock-in by my cousin. And
that's how you know it's a Protestant right there. They call it a lock-in.
Yeah. It was this like Pentecostal Assemblies of God. So it was wild. Too.
Oh yeah, people running around, the Shamala Hamala is being thrown out.
It's a different kind of party.
The whole nine. Yeah, and they had a metal band playing.
Oh man,
right?
So if I could just stop you mid-story here, what was that transition like, going from something like Vatican I, right, really reformed, and it's all in Latin, it's all very orderly, to going to a Pentecostal like Assemblies of God lock-in? I mean, that's got to be a culture shock for you.
It was massive. Yeah, but you know what? It worked because like you might not believe this, but I had a 3-foot-long green mohawk.
Wow.
Oh my.
Rock on, dude.
Right. Like I was in and piercings and I was like gothed out, but like punk goth.
Yeah, I was punk rock. I had the studded bracelets and the studded belts. Yeah. I'm with you, brother.
Yeah. So I mean, we all have, right? We got past. Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the thing that I think the Catholics did a really great service for me was really like driving home that we were sinners in need of a savior. Yeah. And I kind of believed that, even though I didn't want to believe in God.
Yeah.
And so I knew guilt, right? Anybody, all my Catholic brothers and sisters out there, we know guilt really well. And the pastor, it was a very Pentecostal thing. Like, he locked eyes with me and did not stop locking eyes with me the entire service.
Might have been the hair.
Yeah.
It might have been, but he was locked in. And he was like, I know that there's one of you at least, but probably many of you who have guilt, and you don't just feel guilty, you are guilty. And I was like, yeah, dude, you nailed it. Yeah. This is accurate. And he's like, and I know how you can be guilt-free. And totally unexpected, definitely like a Holy Spirit moment, just waterworks coming down.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
You know, I was like, I need that. I don't know who he's going to talk about. I don't know what this is going to be, but I need that's required for me. And so he did the whole, you know, okay, everybody, every eye closed and every head bowed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
did you get the I see that hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I raised my hand, and then he's like, all right, now I need you to take another step. Okay. You need to stand up. And I was like, well, at least everybody's eyes are closed. So I stood up, and I was like, okay, nobody's going to know. It's just between me and whoever he's going to tell me about, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, now I need you to come down to the front. I was like, oh no.
Now it's public.
Oh, this is going to go bad. And then, you know, he like told us about Jesus, asked if we wanted to become Christians. And I said, yes. And then he's like, all right, everybody open your eyes. And I was like, oh, you got me, dude. Dang it. And then, I became a Christian. I don't think it was a very linear path for me after that. Like I was a Christian, but I was kind of mad at the pastor.
Yeah.
And so I just like really quickly grabbed a Bible and pieced out and waited for when we would be released.
You were mad because he had everybody look?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was furious. I was so mad.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, you embarrassed me in front of everybody. And like, I wasn't having it.
Yeah.
But I really didn't, I can't say like, oh, it was like, you know, the heavens opened up and a beam of light came down. I just, I did start reading the Bible, and read it, you know, cover to cover. And, but I was still like, and then I don't want to like freak anybody out, but like still involved in gang life and not good things. And then, what a big change for me happened, some of the gang stuff caught up to me. They came to the house, and my parents were like, well, you got to leave. And this was when I was 17.
Wow. So you were young.
Yeah. Well, I was younger when it was bad.
Yeah.
But 17, my parents were like, hey, you gotta leave. Like you can't be here. You can't be bringing this stuff around. I was like, well, maybe I should go to Bible college. Like that's far away. And like God was super gracious to me. I got my roommate at Bible college, shared like the cosmological arguments and ontological arguments and was really into apologetics. And that just struck a chord for me where I realized after talking to him and like studying this stuff that it was foolish of me not to believe in God. It was more foolish of me to keep holding on to like all this stuff that was holding me down and not just commit my life entirely to Christ. And so, you know, I could look back and say, yeah, maybe I was saved in the Catholic Church. Maybe that was when that happened, or maybe it was when I got tricked into going to a Pentecostal lock-in.
Right.
Or maybe it was when apologetics just became a massive part of my life that I really started to believe. And the scripture became real to me more than it ever had before. So,
yeah. Well, it seems like the Holy Spirit was really working in your life slowly. I mean, like you said, through the Catholic Church and then into the lock-in where you got called out and then into the apologetics. It's just like the slow, steady incline to right where you needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think, I mean, we could have a theological discussion at some point, but I do think that's how it works, right?
Right.
Like prevenient grace.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Takes God to love God.
That's right.
That's what we always say here. So, God draws us in, and nobody would choose him unless he first chose us. I mean, scripture's pretty clear on that. So,
Absolutely.
all right. So fast forwarding a little bit, I know I really want to get to this book because I love this book.
Sure.
So you've gone through your life. You were in the gang. You kind of got into apologetics. You see your faith starting to flourish. Obviously, at some point, you met your wife, had a family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Bible college, then straight away, as happens in like the Assemblies of God area, which it was Calvary Chapel, which they say they're not AG, but we all know. We've watched Living Waters.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I got thrown into youth pastor, and my theology just kept developing. Ended up at a Acts 29 church.
Okay.
For about 8 years or so.
All right.
And then in that time, it was a really small church, as Reformed Baptist tends to be.
Right.
I went to my pastor. I was like, dude, I've got my life figured out. I love Jesus. Like, I'm going to a good church, but I need a wife. And he prayed like the weakest prayer at a Super Bowl party. And he's like, Lord, bring this man a wife. Amen. I was like, come on, bro. Like, where's
the tear? Where's the passion?
Like, come on, man. And he's like, no, it's going to be fine. Literally the next week, my wife walks into the church.
Wow.
Nice. And that's a whole story. I know we're limited on time,
but God's providential timing is just amazing.
Yeah. It was hilarious, honestly.
Yeah.
Met her, got married. We basically lived in California, and I was always running my mouth about how much I hated living in California. And my wife finally was like, hey, if you're going to keep talking about this, you need to do something about it. And I was like, oh, challenge accepted.
Right. We can do this.
So I put my resume online. 12 hours later, I got a job offer out here in Utah. And I told my wife, I'm like, hey, we're moving to Utah, I guess. And so we sold the house, moved out here. And the first month that we moved out here, she got pregnant. And then she has basically stayed pregnant since we moved out here about 4 or 5 years ago. So,
sound familiar?
Yeah, something in the water.
I So we said too, we had 3 under 3. So, we totally understand it. Yeah, we get it.
Same exact. We have 3 under 3 right now.
Yeah. I feel for you, brother. I don't miss those days.
I think they were easier when it was newborn 1 and 2 years old.
Don't tell him that.
I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
It's not going to get easier.
Yeah, no, it definitely does not.
But that's what everybody says. They're always like, it's going to get easier. It'll be easier. And I'm like,
Well, so you guys got married. Utah, I mean, that's got to be something because you guys, that's a heavy presence of LDS out there, right? Utah is very heavy. So you guys have been able to get plugged into a church and how does that all work? I mean, I know you said your job, you kind of alignment. And so explain some of that and then we'll dive into the book. I just want to get your backstory first.
Sure. Yeah, totally. No problem. So we part of why we were okay with moving out here, when we were at the Acts 29 church, everything was great. We loved it. It kind of lined up theologically with everything we believed in. But as happens, and probably other people have been through this, the church doesn't have a really good ecclesiology or church structure.
Yep.
And so in one weekend, the church fired the pastor, replaced him with an Assemblies of God pastor, and then left the Acts 29 network and joined AG.
Wow.
That's
a lot of moving.
What was that?
That's a lot of moving around really fast.
Oh, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was like to go from Reformed Baptist to
Assemblies of God.
Yeah, that's just like, and I'd been there, been there before. So I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And my wife actually really graciously Because I didn't want to go to church. I was like, we need a break. And my wife's like, absolutely not. We're not taking a break from church. It's not happening. So she looked up some churches in the area, and we ended up at a PCA church, Presbyterian church.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, it is like very, very similar to Reformed Baptist,
right.
Confessional,
yep.
Covenantal, etc. And we drove into the parking lot, and we I didn't want to go in, and my wife just like took my hand. She's like, "Hey, it's an hour, maybe hour and a half. It's going to be fine."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And it was the most amazing service I'd been in. I felt like after the service, I was like, oh, I think I can do this for another week.
Yeah.
I think I can actually make this happen. So we started going. And then when I got that job offer, there was a PCA church in Layton, which is, and I got hired in Ogden, which is like 10 minutes away from Layton.
Okay.
So easy plug in to, it's like same denomination, same group of people.
Gotcha.
Not same group of people, but you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
similar.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Same type of theology and doctrine and different people, but it's yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like going from, a Holiday Inn to a Holiday Inn kind of thing, different town. It's it's the same hotel.
We're getting the waffles.
Right.
In the morning.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Continental breakfast is on them.
That's right.
So
that's right.
All right. Awesome. Well, let's jump into the book a little bit. I know we talked a little bit. What I know you could. I love this part of the story, but what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah. So it's probably not what a lot of people are going to think would have inspired me, but it was just too much coffee in the morning. I got brought into a meeting at like 6:00 in the morning. And I've got three kids under 3.
Yeah.
So lots of coffee in that morning. And I find out that I don't need to be in this meeting. I have to be there, but I'm not contributing at all. So I figured I'd redeem the time a little bit and busted out my cell phone and started texting my wife and just typed out a really rough manuscript for, page by page.
Yeah.
And sent it to my wife, and she was like, "That's amazing. What made you do it?" And I was like, "Too much coffee."
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
That should be a bumper sticker.
Had too much coffee, wrote a children's book.
What made you do it? Too much coffee.
Yeah, and we'll put Real Talk Christian Radio right on.
There we go. We do drink a lot of coffee on this show and off the show, so that is awesome. So so you had a lot of coffee. You decided to pound out a children's book. Why St. Nicholas?
Yeah, I loved in Bible college reading about the early church fathers, and St. Nicholas really stood out to me more than not like more than others, but I think I resonated with him more than other people, because you hear about Santa Claus and you get this idea that every need that he had was attended to. He's this jolly old mystical guy. But then you read about his real story, and it's like he's this broken dude, lost his parents really early in life. He wasn't really well liked by a lot of people, even like in his town of Mira. And he was gruff and tough and broken. And it just seemed, I was like, oh, that seems a lot like me. Yeah. And then he just was singularly focused. So when he got something in his mind, it was, hey, I'm born in this rich family. My parents died super young. I could live a cush life and not have any problems, but Jesus doesn't want that for me.
Right.
So he pretty much gave away almost all of his money to the poor and people of his town so that they could have a better life. Yeah. And we might talk about this later as well, but then he's living under the worst persecution in Christian history.
Yep.
And Diocletian's like, you got to stop talking about Jesus. And he's like, nope, not doing that.
Right.
So he gets tortured and he gets beaten and imprisoned and won't give up the fight. And then, as time went on, the persecution ends, Christianity's legal in the Roman Empire. And he goes to the Council of Nicaea.
Right.
And at the Council of Nicaea, Arius famously is saying that Jesus is not really God.
Yep.
And he's so singularly focused and like this broken guy that he punches Arius in the face in front of everybody.
It just goes to show you he must have had to be rough and tough, right? He had to endure so much. He just became kind of a tough guy a little bit of the saints. You look at a saint, you go, I don't see any saints hitting anybody, but like St. Nicholas, like, oh, we're gonna fight, we're gonna throw down right now.
That's right. Yeah, I think what it was is like I think I would see people at church all the time, like even at Calvary Chapel, I'd see people at church and they'd look at the guy out front smoking a cigarette, covered in tattoos, maybe swearing, whatever, in a fight with his baby mama,
right.
So, and they're like, well, he doesn't take this seriously. Why is he even here? And it's like, well, you don't know what that dude's been through.
Yeah. Well, and you don't know where he's at, where God has him on his faith journey. Like that's the big thing is that I see even in my life, and Janeal will attest to this. When I got saved, we were dating at the time. And it wasn't an immediate overnight, everything changed in my life. I still had sins and things that I struggled with for years and years and years after that. And then God slowly delivered me from each and everything. And just because you see somebody who might be tatted up, smoking a cigarette, maybe swearing, maybe God and the Holy Spirit hasn't convicted of them of those things yet. And those things will come. Those things will come. And that's where we're supposed to, as the body, be one with as the body and come around them and disciple. Christ didn't just tell us to go out and win souls. That's the thing where a lot of people are like, I just got to go out and win souls. There's another one for my little notch in my little salvation belt. It's go make disciples. Like that's what we're called to do. Matthew 28 tells us to go and make disciples. That means you don't just tell them the gospel and then book it out of town. It means you're there with them in the trenches and you're there helping them to know Christ more. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I loved about Nicholas. And then I think just with my own story is like, I came from a rough background. Like my background wasn't perfect. And so like through my walk with Christ, there's a lot of people that just did not like me or didn't understand why I would even be in church. Yeah. But like God was stoked that I was in church,
Absolutely.
And the same thing with Nicholas. It's like he's in this small broken town, and people would judge him for his language, or he got involved with pirates at one point, like
what
crazy stuff.
So could you just walk for those like Janeal who don't know a whole lot? Like I'm sure she knows like the story of the man and his 3 daughters, and he throws a coin in.
Well, I know that from Adventures in Odyssey.
Right. Supposedly it's dropped in a sock, and that's where the stockings came from. But give us a quick synopsis of who St. Nicholas was.
Yeah. So he was born in Myra, lived in that rough time period of Diocletian. So you're thinking like late 200 AD to early 300 AD. Mm-hmm. He was born in a rich family. He was a merchant's son. So they got involved in, with pirates for sure. And then also with legitimate, shipyard stuff. So when you hear somebody say like cuss like a sailor, that's who he was.
Right.
That's who he was dealing with. And when he had given away, much of his inheritance, he still has to eat food. And so while he was still pursuing Christ and learning, but like at that point, they didn't even have the Bible. They don't have the 66 books that we would call the Bible today.
Right.
They would have, this is the letter from John, or this is the letter that Paul wrote to the Colossians. Yeah. And so he's picking up what he can, but he's just going through life knowing that he trusts Jesus. And then, he, at one point in his story, and I tried to do this through the book is find the most credible historical sources that I could, and leave out some of the more mystical and fictional things.
Right.
But one that's generally agreed upon is that, at some point in his life, while he was maybe running from God or trying to be a Christian, but didn't know how to, he got involved with pirates. And they had a slave ship. So it was part of the slave trade. And one of the boys was a Christian. The pirates were not happy about that, and so they were going to just execute the Christian slave because that's what they were supposed to do. And Nicholas, it was kind of like this aha moment for him, or coming to faith moment, or whatever. And he said, like, no, take me instead. You if you're going to kill somebody, kill me, because I'm a Christian. And they were like, well, we can't really kill the guy who's paying the bills.
Right.
We can't really do that. And gosh, if he's a Christian, so it's kind of a weird moment, but that was what several historians would say was like a big changing moment for Nicholas, where he's not just like giving money away or putting some coins in a sock to help, orphans and widows, but he's like, no, my whole life is for Christ now. Yeah. Everything is for him. And they spared the slave boy, they spared him. And then he went on to be a bishop in his hometown, and started, learning the Bible. Thankfully, he was, born in a fairly rich family, so he knew how to read. He knew how to, and then that was a big deal back then. So
right.
He could teach the Bible, and yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say are some maybe misconceptions about Nicholas that happened because of the mythical figure of Santa Claus? I've heard a lot of people go, oh yeah, I know Santa Claus isn't real. It's based off the guy Saint Nicholas. What do you think some of those misconceptions that might be out there are?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest misconception that people get is the story of Santa Claus. They look at that and they're like, oh, he was, he had elves attending to his every need. He was, he's this jolly old guy. And so even if they think about his true story, they're like, oh, he must have been like this rich guy, or maybe like a rich pastor, rich priest.
Or toy maker on the side.
Well, now I feel like he should be riding in a
pirate
ship instead of a sleigh.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you should definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I think they just put him in this, like, his life was easy and it was out of his abundance that he gave, but his life was brutal. I mean, it's like unfathomably brutal where he lived and the time he lived in. And he wasn't perfect. He wasn't a perfect guy that, just ate cookies and rode around on reindeer in a pirate ship, you know?
Well, he was part of the Candy Cane Pirates, in case you guys didn't know.
That's right. But yeah, he was this broken guy, and he was trying to live for Christ in a really difficult time. And people don't see that, how God likes to use the least of these. He likes to use the most broken, because it gives him the most glory when somebody comes from that kind of difficulty and then just glorifies God with their whole life.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So with the story and how hard Nicholas's life was from being with pirates to a lot of the persecution he faced, how did you balance the historical accuracy of Nicholas and put it into a kid's book that kids can understand? I mean, I read it to my 9-year-old and my 8-year-old and my 6-year-old. How does it? I mean, they enjoy it. How did you balance that?
Yeah. So I didn't want to go with what I had read in like history books, because there's a lot of like the Bishop of Myra and like Saint Nicholas, a history of the church and those things. And that's really hard for kids to understand. It's honestly hard for adults to understand, to sit down and like, oh, I'm going to read 600 pages on the Bishop of Myra.
Thank you.
When you turn 35, you get into World War I history, maybe some church history, and then smoking meat. That's what we do.
I don't know.
I'm just watching Bluey.
Or you're watching Bluey.
I'm just watching Bluey.
But yeah, I didn't want to I didn't want it to be dry history. I didn't want to go write, 600 pages, because I think it's already been done.
Yeah.
But I also looked around for years and years for like a kid friendly or like even an adult friendly version of the history of St. Nicholas. And I just couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to have it. I guess the filter I used was, would my kids want to know this? Is this something that my children would actually enjoy? And then also I wanted, and I don't know how to say this perfectly, but I didn't want there to be like, when I talk to my kid and I go, hey, Jesus is real. God is real. The Bible is real. What's the chief end of man? To glorify God and enjoy him forever.
Yep.
And then tell him another story that's not true.
Right.
And go, hey, there's this mystical creature in the North Pole that will give you gifts if you're a good little boy.
Yeah. Make sure you write him a letter.
Yeah, write Santa a letter because he's really real. Yeah. And then have that be a question in my child's mind where he goes, well, Dad tells me this, and then he tells me this other thing. Wait, is Dad telling the truth? Does Dad lie to me?
Right.
And so I wanted it to be like, I think it's in the title of the book. It's like, it's better than the legendary tales that we have.
Yeah.
When we read church history, if we can frame that in a way that children can understand, it's so much better than the elves and the moralistic therapeutic deism. It's hey, this was a real guy who, out of an abundance of love for Christ, gave generously and has a really fun and cool story that you're going to love.
Yeah. And
so we can tell them that story in a way that glorifies God, that's honest and true. And it's something that they're going to be able to understand and have fun with, have a fun tradition.
Yeah. Now, so what are you hoping that, as they read it, obviously they're going to get the baseline of St. Nicholas, but, what are you hoping that they can take away from reading it together? That what the parent, not just children, but like parents, right? Because it's written in the children's book, right? It takes not even 5 minutes, 7 minutes to get through it. If you read it slow, it's not very long, but it's got so much depth to it. What are you hoping that people really retain from it? Not just children, but parents also.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, and this comes into maybe like future projects I might try to do, is that I hope that we can have traditions that are like fun and good and uplifting. Like the gospel is good news, right? It should make everything brighter. It should make, when we sit down on Christmas Day, when we sit down, Easter or Thanksgiving or any of these other times, we should have something that makes things brighter in our life and makes things better. And so I'm hoping that parents and children can see that there's this real story that God's been telling for like 10,000 years now, but 2,000 years of church history that is beautiful and good and uplifting. And it shows that it's not about you being perfect or making the right choices all the time, but being focused on Christ, and your life will get better. And then so will the people that God has called you to serve, their lives will get better. And as we do the things that Christ is calling us to do, we can, and there are things that like this kid can do. There are things that the parents can do. There are things that all of us can do. We could be like, who knows, 2,000 years from now, somebody might be telling the story of the Fullers, right?
Or the Myers.
Somebody might be telling the story of the Myers and go, hey, look at this guy.
Right.
This guy had a friggin' 3-foot mohawk.
It was all green and he got called out in front of everyone.
and then he like wrote children's books. Yeah. What is that about?
Well, for this tough gang guy to writing children's books. That's awesome.
And I think that's what I hope is that they'll read the book and go, hey, this is like a real guy who really loved Jesus. Yeah. And then maybe the connection will be there, like, oh, I'm a real guy.
Yeah.
Like I had a fight with my kids last night. I had a fight with my wife last night, my mom, my friend. I wasn't the best at work. I screwed up, and God can still use me. Absolutely. God can still make something, beautiful out of my life.
Absolutely. So we see that Nicholas was radically generous. He had like super courageous faith. He had compassion for the poor, commitment to sound doctrine, and a heart that really reflected Christ. How can parents use this book to really point towards the gospel message and point towards Christ during this Christmas season, and use it for to kind of block out some of the noise that normally comes along with the Christmas time?
Yeah, I think what I unintentionally loved about this book is so I've also read it to my kid. I've got one that's 3 years old, and so he's the only one that really understands it.
Right.
But without me asking questions, he's just like, wait, hold on. What was that? Why was he brave?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
why? Hold on. Why was he brave? And it's like, well, he was brave because he loved Christ. And there's several instances in the book where I was really genuinely just trying to tell the story of Nicholas. And then my son, who's 3 years old, reads it and goes, oh, like he gave his money away? Why did he do that? And so then you can say, oh, he gave his money away because Jesus saved him. Like he got the best gift anybody could ever get. And so stuff didn't matter as much to him. He wanted to help people. And my son's like, oh, we should help people. It's like, oh, great. Like, yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Yes, let's do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's natural. I think it I don't want to take credit for that. I wasn't intentionally going for that.
Sure.
But I think it just naturally comes out of the book that kids can read it, and it's simple and it's true, and they can it's actionable.
Yeah. Well, and it's about a guy who was sold out for Christ. And, those questions might come up. I know my daughter, our oldest, asks questions like that sometimes, like, well, why did he do that? Like, why did he want to, when there's persecution coming in, why did he want to stay following Christ? And, I think that even a book like this can be really well used and to focusing on the gospel message for our children. And it helps us as parents to not forget. And I love the fact that, again, it's just so simple for people that may have never read any church history. It's a good introduction to some church history figures. I wish there was more books like this, and maybe you're going to write them later on, and I'll just have to get the whole collection. So, because I'm a church history guy, and I love that it's so simplistic, because you're exactly right. You think church history, and we actually did a church history video and went through some of the stuff with our small group.
This is much more my speed.
And I was like, me and one other guy were like, yeah, we love this. And everybody else is like, is it over? So this is what much more, because, we stand on the shoulders of giants. We really do, right? These were pioneers of the faith. St. Nicholas was one of the pioneers of the faith. He stood in the Nicene, Council, and he was, or the Council of Nicaea, and he punched Arius in the face. That's what he's known for. He punched a heretic, right? He punched him out, got thrown in prison, got let out the next day, and they're like, all right, you're good. It was one of those cool stories. But I think it helps people like my lovely wife here, who don't want to sit down and read a 600-page book. And doesn't have time raising 3 kids and homeschooling and everything else that she does. So this is more her speed. So is there anything that maybe a question I haven't asked, or anything else that you would like to share about this book?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it. I guess I would just hope that somebody would read it and love it, and maybe it could make a tradition out of doing that. Because I guess one of the things that I thought about when I was thinking about this is that I think everybody is trying to catechize our kids, and they're trying to or indoctrinate. I guess that might be the more
catechize. Is a good word for it too.
Yeah. And I think there's a story being told by, there's a story politically, there's a story that's happening at schools. If you send your kids to public school, there's a story that's being told. And it's so important for us to tell stories to our children. It's so important for us to catechize our children. And I hope my greatest hope would be that this book would just be one little tool that somebody could use to do that to some degree,
right?
To help tell them true things about Christ and true things about the world. And maybe that would make a tradition for them, like waking up and having a delicious cup of Peruvian Costco.
Absolutely.
Coffee.
Absolutely.
Wow, you got a good memory.
Overcaffeinated. See, overcaffeinated. Perfect. So, all right.
I've got a question.
Oh, go for it. I'm sorry.
Did you guys do the artwork for this book then?
Yeah. So my wife and I worked together on it. We didn't draw everything. So most of them are like stock pictures that we would find, or they're computer generated, but then we took probably way too much time. Like I think I'd have to look through the text message, but it was months. It was I'd say at least 3 months of us going into like Photoshop and like a PDF editor and changing things and trying to get the picture that we actually wanted.
Okay, cool.
So it was a joint effort between the two of us. It took me, like, I think it was like 2 hours to write the original text message manuscript, and then like 3 months of way too many hours
illustration work.
Which I think in the future we probably would want to like hire an illustrator, but being one income household, mom is she works, right? She's a stay-at-home mom. But we didn't have the $5,000 to $30,000 to go get an illustrator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And you're not Charles Dickens either, so I mean,
if this was drawn by hand, I don't think anybody would buy it.
Right. Maybe they would. You never know. Do you have any more questions,
No,
Jim?
that was all. Okay.
Well, before we let you go, where can people buy this beautiful book?
Yeah, they can get it on Amazon. We looked at other options to publish it, but again, it was just cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
So it's technically self-published, but it's through like KDP, so Kindle Direct Publishing, on Amazon. And we're hoping that if it does well, if people really enjoy it, and it's something that is kind of worth everyone's time. I'd love to do some more like St. Patrick, St. Valentine, maybe the early church fathers.
Absolutely.
And Easter. And then I'd also love to do, I've got another one where it won't require any illustration. I want to use my master's degree and do Proverbs and mental health.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, still working on the title and everything, but maybe like 100 pages or so.
Yeah.
Just to tie in Christianity, my faith, and then the mental health approach, because I think the Word of God has a ton of stuff to say about mental health and daily living. So
absolutely. Well, I'm glad to know that, because we've got future episodes that you and I are going to have to do. So we're going to have to get you back on for some of this other stuff. So. All right. I will make sure that I put a link to the book in our show notes. So if you guys don't remember the name, The True Story of Nicholas Claus, Better Than a Legend, a Man Who Loved Jesus, it'll be in the show notes as a link that you can pick it up for yourself at any time you want.
Use those Amazon gift cards you just got.
Absolutely. It's Christmas time. What better way to spend your Christmas cash? All right. Well, Andrew, before we go, we have a little tradition here on the podcast, and we always end every show with this. It's a tradition that we started from episode 1. It was my co-host, Mark Hyde, just kind of threw out, hey, man, you got any fun facts for us? And I'm like, sure. And I pulled one out of the back of some cobweb part of my mind. And out of that grew a segment we call Fun Facts with Fuller. So we're going to go ahead and do that for you now. And we're glad that you can join it in with us.
Perfect.
Time for Fun Facts with Fuller.
So that was all recorded probably when my kids were about your kids' age.
Yeah, so technically I've been on like every single one of your podcasts.
True.
Because
that's always
that
you.
is partially me.
This is true. So the fun fact of the day is, did you know the first artificial Christmas tree was made from dyed goose feathers?
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard right. Dyed goose feathers. According to the fact file, the oldest artificial Christmas tree dates back to the early 1800s in Germany and was made from dyed goose feathers attached to wires. Unfortunately, these have been phased out in today's society. However, artificial Christmas trees still exist and are made of materials such as PVC. So that's our fun fact of the day. So take that with you, Andrew. You can be like, now I know. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your night and out of your weekend to hang out with us and hang out with our listeners and sharing this beautiful book with us. We really do appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind sticking around a little bit, I'm going to put you back in the green room. Just stick around till after the end of the episode, and we'll finish up chatting a little bit more, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. And if you guys haven't already gone and checked us out on our social medias, on Facebook, Instagram, and all the likes, go ahead and check us out at Real Talk Christian. If you haven't joined the community yet, Janeal, right? They got to join the community.
There's a community?
Yeah, Real Talk Christian Podcast community over there on Facebook. If you have not joined, we have a lot of good conversations throughout the week. So the conversations don't just stop here at the episode, but we've built a whole community that you can be a part of. Also, if you have not already gone over to YouTube to see our beautiful face, well, not mine, but hers, you should do that now. Real Talk Christian Podcast over at YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and that bell notification.
Ding.
There you go, the ding. That way, when we're on, you're made aware. Again, don't forget, if there are any Bible needs out there or anything like that, go ahead and hit us up. We'll send you a Bible for free. If you have not already gotten a swag bag, please leave us a review or a rating on Apple Podcast or Spotify. And once we've received that, we'll try to get you a swag bag out totally free at no cost to you. Janeal, we got anything else for these beautiful people?
Enjoy those Christmas cookies.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas. And until next time,
Take it easy.